I'm here today with Dawn from the Whisky Exchange. We're going to be talking about all things drink related. So, Dawn, can you tell us how you first got into the drinks industry?
So, like most of us that sort of get into this industry, I kind of fell into it. I was working in university in a pub to fund my Guinness drinking habit, which my father was totally not prepared to pay for. And just really, really loved working in that environment. I loved working with the customers. I enjoyed sort of learning about the different products, even though I was in a not basic pub, but nothing sort of too high end. It was a nice hotel bar. And I just really, really enjoyed it. So then I decided to go travelling, as one does when one leaves university. And I went to a restaurant in Sydney called Tetsuya Wakuda's. And that's kind of, I guess, where I had my epiphany moment. Amazing restaurant, and there was this absolutely stunning wine and food matching. And I thought, oh my God, this is what I want to do. This is so interesting. And I found out that Tetsuya was opening in London. So I, with no experience on waitressing at all, went in when I got back to London and said, I really want to work with you guys. I love what you do. Do you have a job? And the guy, a guy called Michael Dorr, turned around and looked at me and said, you have no experience. I was like, no, but I'm a really good learner and I want to do this and blah, blah, blah. And he sort of called me up a month later and said, do you know, we've got a job for you. So that's how it all started. I started waitressing. The sommelier there at the time was a woman called Nobuko Komura, and she essentially was the one that got me into wine. Just by sort of doing tastings with her, and she encouraged me more and more and more. So when I went to Zuma with her, as a head waitress, when she left there, she just took over the wine list as head sommelier because they didn't have anyone else. So I've been very, very lucky to just sort of be in the right place at the right time. But it's all been a bit of kind of a bit of luck and a bit of love and a bit of hard graft. But yeah, that's sort of how I got into it.
So, Dawn, could you tell us how you found the making the move from wine into spirits?
So it was a really tough one. I mean, but I kind of had like a mid-period of sort of doing it. So, I was a sommelier for about 8 years working in various restaurants, and I loved it. I ended up running the Ledbury, which was fantastic. And then sort of left the Ledbury because after sort of doing 90 hours a week for about 8 years, it kind of gets to you. And I just didn't really know what to do with myself. And one of my old customers was a guy called Ewan Venters, who was at the time the food and drinks head of food and drinks for Selfridges director, and he said, do you want to come work for us? And I was like, oh my God, yeah, why not, let's Selfridges, an amazing place. And at the time, that's the spirit and wine section for them was quite small, and they were sort of redoing it and making it a big focus. So I kind of had to sort of learn spirits there, and that's where I sort of started getting more interested and meeting more people in the industry that were spirits as opposed to wine. I'd always liked spirits, and I'd always have quite good lists when I was working in restaurants, but that's when I actually was starting to really sort of buy and learn. So I was doing wine and spirits there, so there was sort of a bit of a kind of in-between phase when I was doing both. And then after doing 9 years at Selfridges, I thought, do you know what, I need a bit of a change. And Sukhinder kind of Sukhinder and Rajbir approached me to be the buyer for Whisky Exchange, and I thought, I did say to them at the time, I'll come, but I have to be able to do wine and champagne as well, because I just can't give it up. It's my passion, it's what I love to do. So I miss wine a lot. I am doing wine here, like we just recently won Decanters as Champagne Retailer of the Year, and we have one of the largest champagne sort of lists online. And I am doing a bit more wine because there's a natural fit for people that want to buy sort of top end whiskies and top end spirits. They're naturally going to be interested in wine. People who like good things across categories. So I haven't quite sort of left it behind, but I do miss sort of the differences within wine. And you can taste 5 different Chiantis from the same region and they're totally different. Spirits is quite different in that respect. It's not so much about terroir, it's about producers, but it is an amazing industry as well, and something I love doing is learning, and this has been another rapid learning phase for me. So I think it's I'm starting to get as passionate with certain categories of spirits. Like I'm obsessed with rum and I'm obsessed with mezcal and tequila, in the same way as I was sort of obsessed with wine, but wine will never never leave me, because it's sort of where I started, and probably be where I finish.
What are some of the key skills that a sommelier needs, and how do you hone those skills over time?
I don't really, when I read that question, I was like, that's an interesting one. I mean, the one thing I always say when I was sort of training up sommeliers sort of back in the day was, the one thing that makes a great sommelier is you have to be the best psychiatrist in the world, or psychologist, because you have to be able to go to a table and in 2-3 minutes of talking to a customer know exactly what they want to drink, understand who they are, in order to give them the best drink, or the drink that's most suited to their table or their group or their likes and desires. And it's the skill of a sommelier, a very good sommelier, to kind of understand what the customer wants without maybe the customer giving them full information. And listening, I think listening is one of the key skills, because what I find nowadays more and more is that sommeliers want to give me what they like, not what I want to drink. And I think, that's something that back in the day we used to do a lot of. And I think that's something that I always say to people, you've got to be able to listen and really understand your customer to be sort of top of their age. Of course, you need great knowledge and you need to have a good palate and things, but actually, what you really need is that engagement piece with the customer, because you can put the best wine list in the world together, but if you can't sell to your customers and create an experience for them that they enjoy, well, a great wine list isn't going to help you at all. And I think, in terms of sort of knowledge and sort of tasting sort of palate and developing that, I think that just happens naturally over time. You've got to put in the time and the effort to want to learn and understand. And I always said to people, I didn't have the best knowledge as a sommelier. I actually got more of my knowledge about kind of the back end of wine, like the technical side of wine and things, when I left sort of sommeliering and I started to do my Master of Wine. But what I did do is I tasted a lot, and I really tried to understand quality. Being able to assess quality, I think, is a key skill. And now one that's sort of transferred well into my spirits sort of background, my spirit buying. And what's interesting, a lot of the wine suppliers I've tasted with over 20 years actually said that my palate has gotten better since I've gone spirits, and my tasting notes are much more detailed on wine now. It's quite interesting. I think I encourage all sommeliers to learn about spirits as much as I encourage all bartenders to learn about wine, because I think it can teach you both a lot in both sort of sectors of the industry.
Do you think there's a real trend towards the no alcohol movement that we're seeing, or is it just something that gets more publicity around Dry January?
And I think definitely with low and no there is growth. I think what we're finding is that people want to drink smarter. If they want to drink maybe less but better quality, and I think people are looking for alternatives. They don't. I think people just, if you go to a bar and you're not drinking because you're driving or what have you, you don't want to just drink Coca-Cola or soft drinks, because after a time it gets too sweet, and everyone else is enjoying a gin and tonic or whatever. So I think there is a good argument for low and no, and I think it is definitely an area that is growing. I mean, 100%. I think the issue surrounds, especially with no alcoholic drinks, and is there needs to be some legislation, or there needs to be some control by the industry over it, because there is a lot of really bad product coming out, and product that's saying it's non-alcoholic, and it's a non-alcoholic spirit. It's not a spirit if it hasn't been distilled, so it shouldn't be called a spirit. And I think, I think there's a lot of sort of product that's just water with some acid added and some flavorings, and they're not good quality. I think everyone's just jumping on the bandwagon, and what really needs to happen is us controlling, as buyers, the market, and really just saying, actually, no, this is terrible. Just don't produce it, and actually really promoting the ones that are doing good jobs. I think Acorn has done a very, very good job. Seedlip's done a very good job, but what we're seeing is that bartenders want to buy a lot of these no and low, but actually the sales are still very much on the ones that have done it well in the first place, and we're not really seeing pull through on all category brands. But I think that will change, and that'll kind of, it's like anything, I think the problem is when you get everyone rushing to the market to produce something because maybe some other area of their sales aren't going well, e.g. gin. I think there's a risk that you get poor quality on the market, and that will eventually turn off the consumer. So I think the question is this a short-term trend or a long-term trend? And I think with all the terrible product on the market, it's more likely to be a short-term trend. But we'll see. I think it's an interesting category. I think what we will find is people have been moving towards lower alcohol in wine, and looking at more of the simple serves and spirits, so long drinks. I think that's where the trend will be really solidified. I'm not sure if these no alcoholic products will have, except for the ones that are doing it well, any longevity.
So, Dawn, do you think that some spirits are more popular with women than with men? Is this a sales thing, or is it just like a thing that people think, oh, women love gin and men love whiskey?
I think there is, like any kind of perception, there is some truth in it always, whether it's a small little bit of truth or a big bit of truth, there's always something in it, because you do see, for example, with whiskey, more men drinking whiskey, and we really want to engage women and get women into the category, but there definitely is a lean-to towards men, whether it's because women don't feel comfortable going into like a whiskey show or things like that, I don't know, but I think it's a lot to do with perception of sort of there's kind of old school ideas that are still there, and I think especially with the brown spirits versus white spirits, there probably is a high proportion of women drinking gin and vodka to a proportion of women drinking whiskey and rum. And I think it's our job as educators to really bring women into the category, because there's no reason why a woman wouldn't like a whiskey or rum. But a lot of, when I have couples coming into the shop, a lot of the times the woman's like, oh, no, I don't, I wouldn't like it. And I think it's because they haven't been, they're maybe afraid to try it, or they think they have an image in their head of what it is. I've often given women something like Glenmorangie or something softer and easier just to start. Like I would, even with a man coming into the industry, I wouldn't just jump them into Lefroy. I would get them into something a bit softer and lighter. And I think it's maybe that fear factor with women in different spirits, and having a little bit of less confidence to kind of walk into what is always been perceived as a very male category. And I think that's the case more than it's that women wouldn't like whiskey. I don't think that's the case at all. I think it's more the case of that actually it's a perception that's sort of been reiterated over the years, and whether it's kind of my father drank that, my mother drank that, and it's what we learn throughout our kind of growing up and things. So I think there's a lot more work being done. I think a lot more women are getting excited and interested in the drinks category, which for me is really exciting, and I think they are becoming more adventurous. And I've seen over the years that we do an amazing show called Whisky Show every year, which we have like over 3,000 people coming in over a couple of days, and every year I see more and more women, and that's what makes me excited. There's still too many men but definitely more women. So, and I think that's up to having also more women in the industry who are leaders in the industry, and who can let women know that this is not a male dominated industry. It's an industry where there's equal opportunities for both, and I think the more kind of people you see on TV and things that are women talking about spirits, the better that's going to be for the category.
To me at least, there seems to be no end to the various craft gins on the market. Do you see whiskey or darker drinks undergoing a similar craft movement?
So absolutely. I mean, I if I see another gin on my desk, I mean, right now I'm just delisting gin by the second, because there's just too many, and customers aren't brand loyal, and so the sales aren't really there. They're there for the category, but not per brand. So you're sitting on stock for a long time, and I just think there's just too many now, and half of them aren't even craft anyway, because they're all coming out of 2 or 3 distilleries. So I think this term craft is very dangerous sometimes, because it gives a perception of something that's homemade, that's crafted, it's small batch, and a lot of these are literally just made to recipe with some of the big distillers. Not that I have a problem with that, but I think there's a misconception around gin that if we're not careful, translate into whiskey and brown spirits. And I'm seeing it now in the rum market. So people that were making gin suddenly are panicking because their sales aren't going in the right direction, so they're now making spiced rum. Well, it's not a small batch spiced rum, because you've bought everything from a big company in terms of the liquid. You've blended it, maybe spiced it, but I think the consumer's also wanting more traceability in product and more awareness of where the products come from. And I think all these small guys that are pretending to be people that are pretending to be small actually going to get a little bit smacked by the consumer on this, because actually it's a little disingenuous. And I think with whiskey, the problem is you need to at least leave the whiskey in barrel for 3 years. So it's not a quick process. So these small companies is much, much harder for whiskey because of that. What we're seeing in Ireland now is a really dangerous trend, because again, all these Irish distillers are popping up, and while they're waiting for their distilleries to be built, they're buying in bulk and just blending, and all the products very same, because it's again coming from two people. So yes, there is a movement to this idea of craft, but most of the time it's actually not craft at all. And I think, you know, with brown spirits, it's probably harder to do than, say, a gin. You know, most gin producers might kill me for saying that, but it's definitely harder to balance product and get the product 100% correct in terms of oak aging with brown spirits potentially than with white. So I think that limits it, and the amount of time that it takes to produce. But we are for 100% sure seeing more and more small distilleries popping up all over the UK and the world. In fact, actually, you know, we've seen a real resurgence or a real sort of increase in small distillers in America, in Europe, and in Australia. So, you know, whilst it's great for the industry, I think it's, again, the buyers have to be very strict and say, no, we're not going to just buy everything, we're going to get by quality, just to really kind of keep that growth in check a little bit.
What are some of the events that you're most proud of, or which do you feel have made the biggest impact, either on yourself or on the industry?
So I think probably sort of going back in the day, when I was at Selfridges, we did Peter Kaufman's pop-up on the roof. Peter Kaufman came out of retirement to do this with us, and I managed it, and I ran the thing for the restaurant side itself as restaurant manager for, basically, it was meant to be 3 days and then turned into about 2 months. And I was hugely proud of that, because that was such a labour of love, and it was amazing working with all those incredible chefs, and my staff were fantastic, and it was really hard to do, but it was amazing. And I think, you know, Whisky Show last year was probably the event I've been most proud of here. I mean, the Champagne Show, you know, we set up, it was my idea to do. It was that I'm always going to be proud of, because that was something that was sort of a bit smaller and boutique. But Whisky Show is so huge, and I lost my events team sort of halfway through the year, and basically had to kind of, with one other lady, had to kind of really run it ourselves and really get it on board. And I was just so proud of it, because it was the most profitable, the most successful Whisky Show we've ever done. And, you know, I think I felt a real sense of achievement. It did kill me, but
Sure.
I had a real sense of achievement around it, because it was just like the buzz you get from doing an event and doing it well is second to none. You know, it's like going on stage, and it just the look on people's faces, their enjoyment. You know, when you're in it, you're exhausted and you just keep going, and but actually the achievement you feel is there's nothing like it. And, you know, I think we always try and make each show a bit better and a bit different, and now we have 4 shows per year, and we're looking to add maybe one more. So we have Old and Rare, we have Cognac Show, Champagne Show, of course Whisky Show, and then we're looking to try and do one on sort of aperitifs and vermouths. So, you know, I think we're always looking for something new and interesting to do, and you know, and I think that's something we all enjoy, and definitely Whisky Show this year was my one of my proudest moments.
Have you found any particular advantages to being a woman in the drinks industry?
It's a really interesting question. I kind of never really considered myself a woman in the industry. I always just considered myself a person in the industry that was doing whatever I could. When I first started in the industry, there was only about 6 female sommeliers in London or in the UK. So maybe that did open more doors, because I was more visible, because there was a lot of PR around it. And, you know, I think people wanted to work with, you know, it was seen as something quite different and special being a woman. So yeah, maybe that may have helped me kind of rise to the industry and or get my sort of self on the ladder. But I don't think I've ever thought I'm a woman, that gives me an advantage. I think I've always looked at other skills I've had and said, that's why I've got an advantage. You know, like I can be absolutely hardcore, or I can be your best friend. And, you know, and I think I've always felt that maybe it's my personality, not maybe my gender, that has allowed me progress. And the more and more I kind of look at sort of masculine and feminine roles, the more I say I shouldn't be judged on anything bar being a great buyer or a shit buyer. It's one or the other. It's nothing about nothing I do. Okay, look, potentially women are better tasters. I think there is maybe some truth in that. Right. So yes, maybe I can understand the nuances of things a little bit better. But is that scientifically proved? No, it's not scientifically proved. I just, it's one of those kind of things out there that they say women are better tasters. So no, I don't think I would say I found any advantages being a woman in the drinks industry, but actually equally I've found very rarely that there's any disadvantages. Right. And I think that's very positive in an industry that it could be perceived as being very male dominated. I've never, look, the odd little thing, but actually as a general rule, I've always found being a woman doesn't make a difference. I'm just Dawn, I'm just a buyer, and I think that is encouraging for this industry.
Dawn, what's the biggest thing that you know now that you wish you could have told your younger self?
Probably to pay more attention in my maths lessons. Because my maths is terrible to this day. And it's something that's fairly crucial as a buyer. But yeah, I think there's a lot of lessons you learn along the way, and whether it's, really appreciating the opportunities I had when I was younger, working with some of the most amazing people in the world. I got to work with some of the top chefs, out there. And, I did appreciate the time, but you're a little bit blasé about it in a funny way. You kind of like, yeah, okay, I know this person, and I think maybe I would have said, look, really enjoy those times, and I did enjoy them, but you're just in it, and you're kind of just, and I think probably my younger self I probably would have told to not party quite so much. I'd probably tell my older self that as well, so I don't know if that's relevant, but yeah, I think I've enjoyed learning throughout my life, and I think if you stop learning, then you might as well just give up. I think I could tell my younger self a lot of things, but actually it's been all part of learning and growing and developing. So actually probably just the maths thing, really.
That's brilliant, Dawn. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.